everyone. Welcome to week 2, day 2 of the Task With Me warm-up series. Today we are doing 28 minutes, up by 3 minutes from last week's walk at 25 minutes. So we are increasing the time for these walks. Now, if you've all been following me, you know that yesterday I put 10 reasons why you should start a walking routine today. And at the end of that video, we spoke about the FIT formula, the 3 columns, FIT, frequency, intensity, and time. So here we are increasing the time by 3 minutes, which again, may sound trivial to some of you, but realize that we have to improve incrementally and that fitness is a marathon and not a sprint. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I want to point out something really quick. I normally use my girlfriend's Apple AirPods to film these. Today I'm using a different Bluetooth headset, so apologies if the audio is different. I've done some testing beforehand and I noticed that it tends to pick up wind a little bit better. And when I say better, it's actually worse. It's a little more sensitive to wind. So please bear with me. I'll try to speak as clearly and loudly as I can to make sure that we are getting all the necessary audio that we need here. So welcome to, again, week 2, day 2, 28 minutes. Very excited to be on this journey with you all. I'm very happy that I am being able to do this myself. I've already done this for nearly 2 weeks, which again, may not sound like a lot, but it's all about having that willpower and building up that dedication to do these things that actually makes us better. So apart from that, my live streaming on Reddit has dwindled a little bit, not because I don't want to do it, but I figured that on the days that we have strict workout routines, I'll stick to that. And then on our free days, for example, tomorrow we have a free day, I'll go and do a Reddit live stream. Now, I've been following up with some of the Redditors that have followed me on my account, and I've gotten some really great ideas with some of them. I would like to shout out to a specific Reddit user, which unfortunately I don't remember their name right now, but I will put it on the video as soon as I'm done here and I start editing it. But this Reddit user told me that it would be really cool if I reached out to the community, which I do think he's correct, he or she is correct, to ask you all what are some tasks that you'd like for me to do. I think it'd be really cool if we had brainstorming sessions and we came up with some fun things to do in the future after walking, or maybe we can mix it up and do some on some days and some on the other days. Personally, I don't want to spread myself out too thin. I believe that if we're on par with a specific task, we should see it through to the end before we move on to something else. And I think that's mostly just so that we build up a solid routine and just don't get sidetracked. A really important thing of doing any task, and it's something that I personally struggle with, is sticking with it. So this is a testament to my own willpower and hopefully the willpower of others that are doing this with me. So be on the lookout for that. It might be something that I do on Reddit live stream. I think it's a little bit better to have brainstorming sessions as informal talks. So reach out during the time I'm doing those live streams. I will be uploading, rather not uploading, but I will be using my Twitter to put those real-time updates as to when you can all follow me and go watch that live stream. For all you new people, you can follow me on Twitter at TaskWithMe. It's where I'll be putting mostly real-time updates as to what I'm doing, whether that means posting a new video on YouTube or going live on Reddit or really anything else. Check out the Twitter for a more intimate, more real-time, more frequent level of communication. All right, so we're almost reaching 5 minutes here, and today I wanted to talk about pets. And why do I want to talk about pets? Well, I myself have a 1-year-old Golden Retriever, and his name is Sawyer. I think it would be very worth it for me to put in some videos of Sawyer here, which I'll go ahead and do once I get into post-production and start editing this video. Sawyer is phenomenal. Sawyer is great. Sawyer is my first own dog. I grew up with a lot of pets in my life. When I was younger, I think at one point we maybe had 3 or 4 in the house, so that was pretty amazing. So it's safe to say I love dogs, but I wasn't quite sure the amount of work it took until I got my own. And I'm sure many of you all can relate to this. When we're younger and when we're kids and our parents buy these pets for us, we have a lot of energy, we have a lot more time. We see the dog or the cat or the pet as just an animal to play with, not necessarily take care of. A lot of times that work is delegated to our parents, guardians. The older you get, you realize it is a lot of hard work. So something I thought would be fun to document in this video is my journey with Sawyer, more specifically, my girlfriend and my own journey with Sawyer from beginning to where we are today. He turned 1 on November 15th or 14th or 16th. It's one of those days. Frankly, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart, can't remember, but it's one of those 3 days that he turned 1 year old, and I want to start from the beginning. Okay, so in 2019, let's say in October of 2019, or maybe even earlier, I was at home with my family. My family lives not too far away, so I'm able to pretty much visit them whenever I want. And I decided, I should just get a dog. It was definitely a decision. It was an impulse decision. And I thought, I'm just going to get a dog and everything's going to be great. And really, I didn't even think about it. I was so excited about the fact that I have my own dog to look after. And I've always wanted a Golden Retriever. I had sort of spoken with my girlfriend. And I know she really wanted a Golden Doodle, which is a very popular dog right now. And I'm not going to say that I don't love Golden Doodles. They look awesome. The ones that I've seen are so well trained. And they look great, and they're probably so fun to mess with. But I just always wanted the classic Golden Retriever, like what a family dog, So I'm sitting on the sofa with my family one day, and I tell my family, hey, I'm gonna get a dog. Now I started looking around, and I quickly realized that dogs are actually pretty expensive. Frankly, I wasn't expecting them to be that expensive because my childhood dog, the most important dog that I grew up with, a yellow Labrador Retriever, who lasted until he was 15. His name was Max. My family was able to get him for, I believe, $500 or $600 from a breeder. And that was it. So, it was 15 years ago. I thought prices might stay the same. But I was surprised to find out that Golden Retriever was probably going to be at least $1,000. But I went with it anyway. I did some research. I want to emphasize the word some, because it was quick. I was very excited, more so than the energy I wanted to put into doing any research, and I found the first breeder that wasn't too far away. And sure enough, I got in touch with this person, and they told me, yep, we have some Golden Retrievers. Would you like to see them? I said, yeah, I'd love to see them. Now, unfortunately, they were too young. They weren't showing anyone how these retrievers looked. So I had to sort of deal with that and say, okay, so what else can we do? One of the cool things, and with the technology that we have today, we were actually able to do a meeting where I saw the dogs. So that's what we did. He showed me the dogs and he allowed me to pick one. So this is how it started. I reached out, got in touch with the breeder, we did our meeting, and I picked a dog. I picked a dog by the color of the collar. So when they were about 3 weeks old, he sends me a video of 8 dogs in the litter. He says, okay, which one do you want? I said, I want the one with the green collar. Now, honestly, the one with the green collar looked calm, and this is why I wanted the dog, because he looked calm. And I thought that would be a big difference. If they're calm when they're that young, they might be calm throughout, and I thought that'd be nice just to have a calm, cool dog in the apartment. The apartment's not too big, 750 square feet or so I thought this would be perfect for me. All right, so a couple of weeks later, Turns out the dog that I wanted passed away. That dog passed away. And so the preference went to someone else who had bid a little bit earlier. But after speaking with the breeder, I was able to get a different dog. And that's the dog that I got. Now, when I went to go pick up the dog, 8 weeks, it was January 10th of 2020, just right before everything got crazy, I was ecstatic. But when we got to this person's house, their house was a little bit less than clean. And although I didn't mind as much, my girlfriend wasn't very happy. But we did what we did, purchased the dog. I left. They told me how I should feed the dog, and everything was good. We took the dog. Actually, the first thing I did was take the dog to my girlfriend's house, and he was cool. He was super cool. One of the things I noticed was that his eyes looked very lazy. His nails were a little long. He smelled a little bit, but that's, I thought, maybe normal, especially coming from breeders. Soon thereafter, we took him to the vet, and I believe at the vet, they noticed that there was just a small issue with his ears. They wanted to make sure they were good. And later on, I find out that golden retrievers have to be groomed regularly, especially in their ears, because of the moisture that they can keep in there. So, take him to the breeder, we would bring him home. The home was already set up. We had the bed, we had some toys, some fun things for him to play with, and he sort of settled in, but he was very shy. He wasn't eating. So here we have this 8-week-old dog that's not eating, and coming from Max, remember Max was my childhood dog, Max ate everything. So I was a little bit confused by that. Then the weeks started going by, week 9, week 10, week 11, and he's not really eating a lot. And he eventually develops an ear infection. Now, I believe that ear infection is what sort of set the course for the rest of his life, because for the next 3-4 weeks, he had to pretty much live with a cone around his head. He still wasn't eating enough, and we had to essentially sit down with him and give him this paste, which had critical vitamins and nutrients to be able to feed him and hopefully get him the nutrition he needs to be able to grow into a strong dog. After some time, we started training him. We wanted to start playing with him and taking him out and sort of giving him the life that he deserves. He did start to get a little comfortable. He started exhibiting some classic puppy behaviors, jumping on furniture, biting things, not paying attention to us. So because of that, I got a little happier. And even though it was annoying, I thought, okay, he seems to be getting okay. But something that always stuck with me was his weight. I wanted to make sure his weight was good. And feeding him up until this point, even 3-4 months in, was always a battle. He wasn't like other dogs. He wasn't motivated by food, but man, was he motivated by water. I always made the joke that he was a mutant, and he's the first dog that can just survive on water. So, months went by. We keep doing our thing. We regularly take him to the vet. I'm talking about, 3-4 times a month in some cases, taking him to the vet for regular checkups. They quickly began to know Sawyer, the golden retriever. And things did get better. My girlfriend, who I admire her for her patience, she took it upon herself to start training Sawyer. We wanted to try doing it ourselves first, and I'm happy to say that we're still doing it ourselves to this day, a year later, and she did a very, very good job with it. She spent so much time doing the research, actually doing the training, and he got so much better for that. We taught him the basic commands to sit and to lie down, follow us, come, all these things. And we found out what worked best with us in terms of discipline was keeping the crate around and just putting him in timeout. Nothing too aggressive, just saying timeout, putting him in the crate for a designated amount of time, letting him sit there and understand that what he did was something that we didn't love. And he quickly learned how to behave, at least the way that we wanted him to. So I'm going to take a break here for a second so we can just recap a little bit about our walk, and then we'll come back and continue talking about soy starting at around 5 months. And yes, I said soy, like soy milk, because that's actually the nickname I gave him, soy. Okay, so 15 minutes. We have 13 minutes left on this 28-minute walk. For all you that are joining me at this time, or for all the existing people, welcome and thank you so much for being a part of my virtual walk today. If you want more walks like this, if you want more content like this, be sure to hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, and hit that alert notification bell so you can be notified of whenever I put these new videos. Normally I tend to put them a little earlier. Frankly, today was just a bit more of a hectic day at work, but I wanted to make sure I put the content out there for you guys so we can all stick to the workout routine together. This channel, Task With Me, is dedicated to doing tasks with the broader community in hopes that we can break up the rut of everyday life. It just so happens that the first task we're starting out with here is essentially going to be a documenting of couch to 5K. I want to get stronger and I want to be able to run regularly, and that's what we're trying to do here. So again, if you like that, make sure to follow me on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. I would say that Twitter is the next most important one to look out for, as I will be putting updates unrelated to some things that I do on YouTube, also related to things I do on YouTube, and I also write polls on Twitter so that whoever does the walk can keep track of their progress, and I would love to see the numbers go up. I want to get more people involved, and if I can just get one person to walk today and achieve their fitness goals, it would make me very, very happy. So again, thank you all so much for listening. I really hope you're enjoying this walk today. And now let's continue into the second half of the story today about my Golden Retriever Sawyer. Okay. So 5 or 6 months, he's starting to get better. We're still taking him to the vet regularly, but then at some point he starts eating. And I'm not saying that he goes crazy for it, but as long as we're close to him, he starts eating his food. He's, behaving a little better. I'm gonna stop here for a second. I got a rock in my shoe. That's fun. He starts behaving better. He starts obeying our commands better. I can tell he's getting older, but I was always concerned a little bit about his height, a little bit about his weight. So now we start being a little more strict. Well, not strict, we're starting to be a little more attentive with his weight. So every time we go to the vet, we're asking, hey, can we get a update on his weight? And in those early stages, he was sort of hovering around 40, and I was comparing him a lot to other dogs on Reddit, which is something I really should have never done. I should just focus on my dog and just make sure he can grow to be the best he can be. And after months and months of him eating, turns out about a month ago, we go to the vet and he's 75 pounds. So the target weight I always wanted my dog to be was 65 pounds. I thought that was a good weight for an adult male Golden Retriever, and he surpassed it. He got a little bit chunky, but I love my dog to be a little chunky. I mean, it's just nice to hug him and lay with him, and he's young. Give him a little bit of fat. It's not gonna hurt him, but just no more than 10 pounds. I thought that was gonna be a good marker. Turns out he's overweight. They gave us a new measuring cup because they weren't so sure that I was only feeding him 1 cup, which really I was giving him, I'd say, maybe 4.5 cups a day, and that's of puppy food. So at this point, we're a little happier. Things are getting better, but I really do feel, if we go back to those first 3 weeks of Sawyer's life, I really do believe that him not eating affected him. And this is why I think that. Sawyer is very sensitive, first of all. He frequently gets rashes on his skin. He gets these bumps that you can almost scratch off. I don't, but you can feel them. It's like scabs that he gets. He's always gnawing at his paws. He recently got kennel cough. Literally yesterday he got kennel cough. But I wouldn't isolate that to Sawyer specifically. It's going around. I also thought that for his age, he's sort of short. His hair hasn't really grown out a lot compared to what I see other Golden Retrievers have. So I always thought there was something a little bit different with him. But for all intents and purposes, he's very much a puppy. He's very much a 1-year-old dog. He's so playful. He's so lovable. He loves to spend time with us. And he's a great dog. So I'm not really concerned. We just have to give him a little more extra attention. My girlfriend called this morning to the vet and said, hey, is there anything else that we can do so that our dog is healthy and he doesn't get sick so often. And sure enough, they gave us a great recommendation for some multivitamins that I ordered on Chewy earlier today, and I'm going to be getting later this week, hopefully by Friday. They're called Pet Tab multivitamins. They have phenomenal ratings, over 4.5, which if I'm going to buy something, frankly, I like the rating to be at least 4.5 on anything. I feel like that's a good cutoff for a lot of things. So hopefully we'll get that by this week. I'm really excited to start incorporating it into his diet. Hopefully we'll help him with things like his scratching and his overall health. He scratches himself so much, like I mentioned earlier. He even bites the hair off of his skin. He's bitten so much hair off his tail that he's actually losing hair on his tail, and you can see the tail underneath. I'm very curious to know, for any Golden Retriever owners that are watching, have you all experienced any of these things with your Goldens? And if so, please let me know. Very curious to see what your experience has been. So that's pretty much the story with Sawyer. Again, he turned 1 year on November 15th. I'm going to turn around here. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of wind. He turned 1 year old on November 14th, 15th, or 16th last month, and we took him to a water park made for dogs. He had so much fun. We got him some yogurt. He loved it. And it made me so happy to just see him, be with us and have a good time. So that's been my experience so far raising Sawyer. It has been very difficult. And there have been times where Paola, my girlfriend, and I, we look at each other and we're thinking, like, did we make the right decision? Did I jump into this really fast? The funny thing is, my girlfriend had a really bad experience with a dog that they had for 2 days. So I told her, I surprised her, which I think for her, it was a surprise for the worse. I surprised her when we went on a trip to Tennessee. We were in a Taco Bell, and I told her, hey, we're getting a dog in a couple weeks. And I already bought it. And I was expecting her to be really excited, but that just wasn't the case. She was less than enthused, not excited at all. And in those early months especially, I felt bad because she was spending so much time training this dog, and it was just really difficult for both of us. But fortunately, we pulled through. We made it work out, and it's been so gratifying these past couple of months. I'm very excited to see how it gets from now on. I know that entering the second and third year, they tend to calm down a little more. They told us he would be a little more calm after getting him neutered, but he's still crazy active. But I'm so excited to grow up with him. Hopefully he'll have the opportunity to meet my kids, and I can't wait to tell them all the stories I had with my Golden Retriever growing up, Sawyer. I'm gonna sprinkle some clips of Sawyer in this video so you all can get to know him. I'd like to include him in some more of these, and I would love to actually walk with him while doing these, but he tends to pool. If anyone has any helpful articles or your own experience with the pooling, please help us. He loves to pool. When a 75-pound dog is pulling on you, you feel it, and it makes the walk very annoying. But hopefully he'll get better at that. There's something really cool, as you all may know. I recently got a GoPro, and GoPro actually sells a dog harness. Like, that's an official mount that GoPro sells. So I am extremely, extremely excited to be able to hopefully use that in some of my videos and get a dog's perspective on the walk. That'd be really cool, not just for me, but for him, because as I'm sure a lot of you dog owners know, it's good to get them tired and go back home and really, really relax. So again, that's been my experience with Sawyer. Very excited to see how he grows. I'm very excited to see some engagement from the community here. How has your experience been with your own dogs? Let me know in the comments below. And that wraps up for today's story. So we have about 4 minutes left here on today's walk. We got a 28-minute walk today. Tomorrow will be a rest day. If you all want, I put a picture of the schedule on yesterday's video, which marked the beginning of week 2. So tomorrow's a rest day. On Thursday, we have another 28-minute walk. And on Saturday, we finish strong with 38 minutes. Planning a little something special on Saturday, something a little bit different for y'all to look forward to. We're still gonna be keeping with the program here. Still going to be sticking with our walks, but I figured, hey, why not do a scenery change? So stick with me if you want to see where we'll go next. Subscribe if you want to join in on the fun, if you want to do some more tasks like these. Eventually we'll be covering jogging and running, maybe some technology related tasks, cooking, random things, whatever you all want. That's the point of this channel. I hope the walk has been good for you all. Really excited to know if anyone has stuck with me from the beginning. If you've all done all these walks with me, which today will be our 6th official walk as part of the workout that I'm following from Runner's World. I'm so happy that we've made it this far. Just imagine where we will be at the end of our 7th week, where we're doing hour-long walks like nothing, and we're getting ready to start mixing up jogging and walking. It's gonna be very fun, and in the past when I've tried, I haven't been too successful in doing so. So I think that by the time that time comes, we would all have already established a good habit and just a good way of doing the walk. Let's talk about some random things on this last minute. I tried to get an Xbox Series X earlier today. There's someone I follow on Twitter who does a phenomenal job of notifying his followers when things will become available. And he put that there was an Xbox available, and I tried with all my might to get it, and I just couldn't. Those things are flying off as soon as they're available, and I think it's probably maybe other software engineers or tech-savvy people that are implementing some sort of autobot some sort of autobot that checks a list of websites to see when this thing is available and automates the whole process. And it runs on some schedule, so they will always be first in line to get the Xbox. Has anyone been successful in getting one recently? I really want one now. And I know I said in previous videos I was gonna wait, but with Cyberpunk coming up tomorrow, I would love to play it on the new console. We'll see what happens in the future. Anyway, my fellow taskers, we have 30 seconds left on today's 28-minute walk. Again, I'm so happy that you've all been able to join me. I'm looking forward to engaging with the community in the upcoming days and weeks, months, maybe even years. It'd be really cool to see if you're all still there with me. Stay fit and stay healthy. And we will see you all again on Thursday for our next 28-minute walk.